When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that sometimes jerks off, sometimes jerks on. It's always a jerk.
Okay, how do you jerk on?
I mean, their face, their chest, their feet, whatever you want.
Okay, I like that.
Your sock, wherever.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today, Happy New Year,
Happy
Kyle.
New Year, Mike.
It's 2024, the last year of our existence.
Have the Aztecs predicted this one as well?
Oh, yeah, we were just a little off.
Yeah. We keep being off by 1 year every time.
Yep.
It's 2024.
It's 2024. We survived so far.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it up, y'all.
I don't know.
No, neither do I. It's hard to be excited about New Year's because you're like, what fresh hell is this year going to bring?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Which is going to end society first, Donald J. Trump or artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
okay.
That's enough banter.
Yeah, we bantered.
Okay.
We successfully achieved banter.
Great. I hope everyone's still hungover. And now the news.
Shut your mouth hole, it's time for your ear holes. News.
News the first, which this is all last year's news, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. That's true. It's in the past.
So last year.
I guess all of our news is in the past.
Well, okay. News the first. On Halloween of 2022, in the early hours of the morning, 25-year-old Oklahoma man Kobe Green broke the glass door of a Tulsa-based donut shop with a baseball bat and then threw in a Molotov cocktail.
Yikes.
His reasoning for that was because they were hosting an art night that featured some drag queens.
Oh, God. It's
taken quite a while for him to work through the process there. But he has been sentenced to 5 years in jail, and he pleaded guilty to malicious use. He pleaded guilty to malicious use of explosive materials, and he is set to spend 5 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Now, I love idiots. I love idiot criminals, and he basically said on social media all of the stuff that he was going to do because of this drag night that they were hosting.
He pre-admitted it.
Yep. Quote, it's okay. Okay, it's officially time to shine our boots and put on our armbands, boys. This disgusting filth has got to go. And then he said the shop had been vandalized previously, earlier in October. And in response to that, he said, I'm just sad that those guys didn't use a Molotov cocktail. Which is exactly what he did when he vandalized them. He was also accused of setting a different fire in 2021, but those charges were dropped after a witness failed to appear, but it might not have been his first rodeo. But basically, Kobe Green is our first 2024 nomination for Dickbag Fuckface Asshole.
Oh, and so it begins anew.
So it begins.
Wow. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. The Donut Hole, which is the name of the place, managed to raise more than $29,000 on GoFundMe as a result of all of this. Hopefully they're okay. I should look into that more. But
that covers the cost. That sounds like expensive damage that it might have done.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't understand why we're the problem. When they want to kill us and burn down our shit and get us banned and but we're the dangerous ones. This is wild.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okie dokie. News the second. The country of Greece is going back to its roots, Kyle, and they're going to legalize same-sex marriage.
Oh.
In July, the Prime Minister of Greece, not going to try to say that name. Okay, well, Kyriakos Mitsotakis
Sounded lovely.
promised to legalize same-sex marriage and said that, quote, Greek society is much more ready and mature than they used to be. But the government spokesperson said that they were going to be pushing through this final version of the legislation that will recognize same-sex marriage. They've had recognition of cohabitation agreements for same-sex couples since 2015, offering some of the rights and benefits of marriage, but this closes the gap and brings it the rest of the way to like full marriage. There is predictably a big pushback, particularly from the Greek Orthodox Church. The church had a synod that released a 1,500-word opinion saying that they thought that, quote, children are being treated as accessories and companion pets for gay couples.
We want to adopt the kids you don't want. Like, fuck off, you know? Like, these kids that are going to be in foster care or on the streets or whatever, and gay kids want to adopt them, and that's how you treat our benevolence?
Yeah.
Not mine. I never want kids, but whoever's benevolence, that surely someone's.
Yeah, well, and I don't understand why it is that, like, gay people adopting kids is them wanting to have a pet. But when a Kardashian does it or whatever,
right.
they're fine with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the country of Greece, if everything goes according to plan, it will be done by 2027. So
cool.
Welcome to the party, Greece.
Yeah.
They sort of started it all, and now they're finally coming to the party.
Coming full circle.
Coming full circle.
Which is a fun thing to do with friends.
That's another thing that the Greeks did.
Yeah.
Come full circle. News the last.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty funny. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who is a dickbag fuckface asshole, but not getting a nomination.
Okay.
In attempts to fully realize the horrific anti-trans care laws in Texas, reached out to Washington State Seattle Children's Hospital and said that he needed to know the number of Texas minors treated, their diagnoses, the medications prescribed, and more in case Texans are leaving the state to try to get care elsewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because if your doctor won't give you care, then you have to do something, like, of course.
And under Texas law, apparently that's illegal. So Seattle Children's Hospital said, no, fuck you, said a giant middle finger, and then sued him. So
wow.
Seattle Children's Hospital has sued Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton over that demand. They said that providing this information would violate Washington state and United States privacy laws. The state of Texas has no jurisdiction over the hospital, which does not offer services within the state of Texas. Quote, additionally, the demands represent an unconstitutional attempt to investigate and chill potential interstate commerce and travel for Texas residents seeking care in another state. It was filed in Travis County District Court in Texas, and I just think it's great. Washington State is like, we are a sanctuary state for trans kids, and no.
I like that. I like that answer. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, fuck you.
Just not going to do that. Not going to do that today.
We need more Seattle Children's Hospitals in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. That's the news.
That's the news. Well, speaking of people we need more of, we need more Patreon members. So I want to thank the following new Patreon members. Thank you to Greg Bender.
Okay.
I hardly know her. I mean, he has to get that all the time, right?
Nice.
And Alessandro Miranda.
Oh.
Thank you to our new Patreon supporters. If you want to get bonus episodes ad-free and a day early and support this show, support Mike and I, support the work we do, support, your favorite podcast, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it now.
Now. Happy New Year. It's
Happy New Year.
to us because you're signing up.
Take all your Christmas money.
Yeah.
That you totally didn't spend already.
Dump it into our butts. Do you want to talk about resolutions?
Let's talk about resolutions. I don't know. That's not a song.
Oh, okay. I don't have to go add something to our Spotify playlist now? Okay, great. That's ideal. Now's the time of year when people reflect on what has been and what will be to come.
Somebody asked me the other day, why is New Year's your favorite holiday? It is my favorite holiday. And mostly it's because I'm an alcoholic. But
The other reason.
the other reason is I genuinely think having an annual, this is the time when you look backwards, this is the time when you look forwards, and you just get to do both of those things at the same time and get hammered with your friends is magical.
Right.
And I'm not the only one that feels like that. But for a lot of people, it includes the ritual, like the explicit, like get out a piece of paper and write some shit down. I'm making some New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think also we were hard pressed maybe to figure out exactly what's gay about that.
Yeah.
But I think we found some shit.
Okay. I think we have some gay stuff that hopefully we'll get into when we talk about resolutions, but we'll see.
Yeah. But first, I'm
First.
going to start with the history of New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
Okay. I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Okay.
So, if you had to guess who started it, who would you guess?
George Washington.
Oh, okay. No,
Okay.
very much no. It was around 2000 BC.
Oh,
The Babylonians.
wow.
They don't come up very often. Usually it's the fucking Greeks or the Victorians.
The Victorians, yeah.
No, it was the Babylonians. So they had a 12-day festival called Akitu, and it started around the spring equinox, but that doesn't matter. The whole point was like, this is the start of farming season. This is like, let's look at what happened last year. Let's look at what is going to happen this year. But they would, during that festival, they would plant crops. They would re-crown the king. More on that in just a second. And this is where the resolution part comes in. They would make promises to return borrowed farm equipment and pay down their debts. So that was part of what was required was making some promises.
Okay.
Now, what I think is so interesting about this is it's a 12-day festival. Every day had its thing. Where like the first day, the priest would recite sad prayers with other priests. And then the people would answer with equally sad prayers. But it was sad prayer day was day number one.
That's so depressing.
Right. And then on day 2, the high priest would take a bath in the river. And everybody would watch.
Okay.
I guess.
It's a high stakes bath that you're taking. Everyone watching?
But anyway, so there was a thing. Day 3 was like puppet day. They would create 2 puppets made of wood, gold, and precious stones and dress them in red. And then they would be set aside because they would do shit with them later.
Okay.
Okay. All of this is to say, I could go through the whole thing. I'm not going to. But day number 5 is my favorite day.
What's day 5?
Day 5, the public gathers together at the river to eat together and celebrate. And then the king is brought to the temple. And the king is supposed to show humility before the gods. Like, thank you for putting me in this position of power. It's not my power. It's the power of the gods that keeps me here. Show all of this, like, just humility, gratefulness, and maybe talk about, like, what his plan was for the next year, agenda-wise, sort of leading into the resolution thing. This is my favorite part. The high priest would slap the king in the face. As a way to further induce humility.
Wow.
Yeah. And the king's tears were seen as a good omen for the coming year. So he had to really give it.
Wow. He had to perform like Halle fucking Berry. He had to like put on a show.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. And then after slapping the priest would cry, or after slapping the king would cry, and then the priest would reintroduce the king to the public, like put the crown back on him and say,
Freshly slapped.
Yeah, you're good to go for another year.
Damn.
Now,
wow.
Not the first time I'm going to talk about slapping in this talk about New Year's resolutions.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. What's wild about this 12-day festival, I don't have any proof, but there's some people who say that like the 12 days of Christmas actually in part derives from this ancient Babylonian tendency to do things in like 12-day increments.
Oh, interesting.
And anyway. Okay. Enough about the Babylonians.
Oh.
What?
I miss them already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
a weird festival.
What a weird festival. Okay, so those puppets that they made
yeah.
in day 6, they would they would have the puppets have they would do a mock battle and then burn them. Like, it's
be like, but I just made these puppets.
Yeah, well, and the whole point was that, like, without the gods, the city would be in constant chaos. So it was like, it's like, you want to be on Santa's nice list. If you're on the naughty list, this is the consequences. You have to fight a puppet and it'll be lit on fire. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Babylonians. Y'all are crazy. But lots of places started to adopt Babylonian practices, and one of them was the Romans. So we're going to talk about the Romans after all. So the Romans picked up on this Babylonian thing, and especially picked up on the idea of making resolutions, that it's time to reflect, it's time to make promises to your family and community about what the upcoming year is going to be. In 46 BC, that's when a proclamation was made that declared January 1st as the start of the new year. And that is, and that's when they started the feast of Janus. Janus. Janus.
Janus.
Yeah.
Janus.
Huge Janus. And Janus is the month of January is named for Janus.
Oh.
So now we got to talk about Janus. So, do you know anything about Janus at all?
No.
The only thing I ever knew about Janus before reading this stuff for today's podcast was that there are Janus cats.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Well, Janus is the two-faced god. Literally has two faces, looking one direction and looking the other direction. And there's a weird gene that gets expressed sometimes in kittens, and they're born with two faces.
Oh.
And they're called Janus cats.
All cats are two-faced.
Well, no, but literally two faces. Literally two faces. It's either Janus or Janus, depending on who you asked, the Greeks or the Romans. Or not, sorry, the Latin pronunciation. Anyway, it had two faces. And what's fascinating about that is, just like I was saying earlier, of like, New Year's is a time to look backwards and look forwards. Mm-hmm. That's what the two-faced god is doing all the time, looking backwards and looking forwards. And so Janus is the god of transitions and of time, duality, beginnings, endings. There's a lot of just like ruminating and reminiscing and sort of this like understanding of temporality that's part of Janus. So anyway, you would make promises to Janus because it's god of all of this stuff, and you would do so on January 1st, the official beginning of the year and the official beginning of the month that was dedicated to this god, or named after this god at the very least. Some people have picked up on the fact that Janus has some direct correlation to the trans community.
When you said the god of transitions, it was like, oh, Republicans hate that god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Got a don't say Janus bill in Florida. But that's actually a little more explicit than I thought it would be for gay people. So do you remember, I think we've talked about it before, if not on this show, then on Have a Nice Gay, the Janus Society? Mm-mm. The Janus Society was an early gay organization that was founded in 1962, based in Philadelphia. It was the publisher of Drum magazine, which is one of the earliest gay publications in the United States. And it was also related to the Mattachine Society. So the Janus Society had a bunch of lesbian and gay activists that were meeting regularly beginning in 1961. They were trying to form a Mattachine Society chapter. And they were not officially recognized as a chapter, though, and decided to name themselves the Janus Society of Delaware Valley. And then they renamed themselves the Janus Society of America. The reason that they chose Janus is because of all these reasons that I was just talking about. That Janus represented transition and also people that embodied a duality of gender. Which I think there's some problematic shit, but give them a break. It's the 60s. But just that, like, the gay men had women inside of them. They have two faces, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Lesbian women, the same. And Frank Kameny, remember that name?
Yeah.
From gay history. Lectured on homosexual discrimination at the New Century Club, and that was sponsored by the Janus Society. He talked with them about the fight against employment, education, housing discrimination. One thing about the Janus Society that is a fight that we've had before is they believed very firmly that we needed to look as normal as possible. That the key to gay liberation was for us to be as unoffensive to heteronormative culture as we could. So they required people to show up to protests in a very explicit dress code. Like women had to be in dresses, men had to be in pants. And it was just a strategy that they were employing, I think, at the time. But it definitely smacks of like internalized homophobia now.
Yeah. And it takes on all of the customs that you expect from hetero people and says that that's normal and right and what we should kind of acquiesce to. That's instead of being our own unique people that maybe some men don't wear skirts, and maybe we don't have to act like them. We can act like ourselves, and we should be accepted for that as well, not just for what they expect us to be.
Yep. That's exactly right. I don't know. I go back and forth on whether it's like sometimes using the language of the oppressor, I think can make you more points or more progress. But I also recognize the need to sometimes just say fuck it and blow all the shit up.
Yeah.
So it's the Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X versions of making progress, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I think there are also gay people who want to fit into heterosexual culture, and that's okay if they want to dress like that and look like that and fit in with society. Like that's okay if that's what you individually want. But to make a blanket rule that everyone has to do that in order to fit in, that's where I think I run into the problems.
Yeah. Well, and I dress super straight just because I'm too lazy to, like, it takes effort to dress like a gay.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm the same.
Another organization that has named itself after the god of Janus is the Society of Janus, which is a BDSM organization.
Oh, wow.
It is based in San Francisco, California. And it was founded in 1974 by Cynthia Slater and Larry Olson. And they said, quote, "There were three basic reasons why we chose Janus. First of all, Janus has two faces, which we interpreted as the duality of SM, one's dominant and submissive sides. Second, he's the Roman god of portals, and more importantly, of beginnings and endings. To us, it represents the beginning of one's acceptance of self, the beginning of freedom from guilt, and the eventual ending of self-loathing and fear over one's SM desires. And third, Janus is the Roman god of war, the war we fight against stereotypes commonly held against us." And they were one of the founding coalition partners of the National Coalition for Sexual Freedom, which was founded in 1997, which was among other things, a umbrella organization fighting for all sexuality minorities in the United States, whether that be like straight people in BDSM, all the way to gay people, trans people, leather community, etc. Anyway, so all of this just to say, setting resolutions at New Year's was all part of worshiping Janus, or at the very least, communing with Janus, the Roman god. And it has this weirdly queer like thing that it has rippled through time. I think it's pretty cool.
It's interesting that gay people in particular, that says to me that we particularly relate to this feeling of duality, of looking back and looking forward, of these periods of transition. So maybe we do uniquely relate to resolutions as well.
Yeah, maybe so.
That was really interesting.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
It's your turn to be interesting.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. I'll try. Let's talk about the Gayda.
Let's talk about the Gayda.
So
I'm fascinated to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah, we'll see. This is from an article on Forbes by Dr. Tracy Brower. And this is a breakdown of what resolutions people pick for the new year. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, what resolutions do people pick?
Lose weight. I'm betting that's number one.
Lose weight, not number one, but very close. That is 20% pick lose weight.
Okay. Save more money.
That is not on the list.
Well, get with it, people.
I don't know why no. That's a weird one.
Okay. All right. Fuck more?
I'm going to go with improve relationships.
Okay, great.
Is what you just said.
I mean,
that's at 11% said that.
Okay, well, this probably counts as improve relationships. I was thinking like call your grandma more.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to count that as relationships.
Okay, how about like be cleaner?
Be cleaner. We'll count that as live healthier.
Okay. All right.
That's the highest one at 23%. Should I tell you the rest of them?
Yeah.
Live healthier, 23%. Get happy at 21%.
Okay.
You need to really smart goal that one up.
Yeah.
We get that one a little bit more specific, a little tighter on the get happy. What does that mean? But that was
just be happy, damn it.
Just fucking be happy. God damn it. It's what I do in therapy. I slap myself and say, get happy.
Oh.
It's not working.
You should get a priest to slap you.
I know, right? My tears are a sign of health to the gods or whatever. Lose weight was at 20%. Career or job goals was 16%. Improve relationships was 11%. Exercise is at 7%.
Yeah.
Stop smoking is at 5%. And reduce drinking was at 2%.
Okay. All right.
Which some of those are a lot smaller than I would have expected. I would have expected more on the exercise.
Well, the smoking thing, I was like, if it's 5% of everyone, that still seems really high to me. Because how many smokers are left who are like smoking on off enough to be anyway?
Well, this is where I think it gets gay, because if we're talking about smoking, drinking, like LGBT people are far more likely to do both of those things. And if we're talking exercise,
work on that beach bod,
yeah, we have some body image issues that we got to work through. So, like, I wonder if it's
you gotta call me out like that, Kyle.
You're just right here, Mike.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're more. I didn't find any gate on this, but I wonder if we're more likely to make resolutions because we're more likely to be doing some of the things that are common resolutions.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that yes, because that makes this episode more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet of all of the people who say that they're going to do less heroin, it's probably gays.
Yeah. Just cut down a little bit. A little bit. According to the University of Scranton,
Pennsylvania,
a real place, I guess.
The Office.
Only 8 people. Nope. Only 8% of people will achieve their New Year's resolutions.
Oh. Well, okay. How many of them said something stupid like "be happy"?
Be happy, and then they're like, "Am I happy? What? No, fuck. Oh no." Okay, but then I was like, "That seems very low." So I looked up more studies, and I found mixed answers. Another study I read said 55% of responders considered themselves successful in sustaining their resolutions.
Okay.
So there are mixed studies on whether resolutions are actually useful. This study that I read said that participants with approach-oriented goals were more successful than those with avoidance-oriented goals.
Oh, do this instead of don't do that.
Yes. And another aspect of it is approach-oriented goals focused on the positive outcomes. So I want to be, if I get more sleep, I'll be happier and healthier. Yeah. Versus if I don't get enough sleep, I'm going to be a failure.
Yeah.
Like like, is the reward of it positive or negative?
Yeah. They do say that like nature abhors a vacuum or whatever, that if you're trying to change a habit that you have, it's not enough to stop doing that thing. You need to replace it with a different habit that you're okay with.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, if it's, instead of saying I'm going to stop chewing my fingernails, just say you're going to chew more gum or something. Like,
yeah. So you're going to like chew your elbow.
Yeah. Blow more. Put other things in your mouth.
Oh yeah, that's smart. You know what? I'm going to give out more BJs this year. We're not talking about our personal selves yet, but that's my goal.
Yeah.
That's some of the data.
You said that you thought 8% sounded wrong for people being successful. You expected it to be higher.
Yeah, that seemed too low.
You think that they're like good, like you expected them to be more useful or successful.
Yeah, more successful than 8% for sure.
Okay.
That seems like barely anyone's get. And this other study did say that it was 55. So another study I looked at that I'm not talking about said that people that made weight loss goals, there were it did not successfully affect their actual weight. I've seen a range of studies and opinions on this.
I mean, you also said a very correct thing of like the get happy one, be happy one. Like you've got to make them SMART goals or they're not real.
Yeah.
Or you're going to fail. And I wonder how many of those people just said, I'm going to lose some weight, which that's not sufficient. You need to say like an amount or like.
And you also need to set an amount that is a reasonable amount, not like I'm going to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to be reasonable, take steps, one step at a time, and make it something that's achievable and smart.
I'm going to lose 100 pounds by dumping that twink.
Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah. Well, talking about like how people view the validity or usefulness, I've got 4 quotes about resolutions from Gays from History.
Gays from History, okay.
And first, Oscar Wilde has some opinions. So if people don't know who Oscar Wilde is, he lived from 1854 to 1900. He was an Irish poet, dramaticist, and wit. He was best known for his novel The Picture of Dorian Gray and his comic masterpieces Lady Windermere's Fan and The Importance of Being Earnest. So he got in a lot of trouble for banging dudes.
Yeah.
Like he's unambiguously gay, unlike the historical, like, you know, you can't call people gay if they didn't call themselves that or whatever the fuck historians say. They're bullshit. Anyway, he said, quote, "Good resolutions are simply checks that men draw on a bank where they have no account."
Wow.
Which kind of right.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
That whole thing of like, you don't know the future, so like don't get too hung up on thinking you can predict it even yourself.
Yeah.
It also seems fatalistic though. Like just be happy, damn it.
Be happy. Just be happy. 21% of you.
Well, and you said in the data, improving relationships. So James Agate, who lived from 1877 to 1947, was an English diarist and theater critic. Faggot.
That's gay.
Between World War I and World War II, he took up journalism in his late 20s. He was on the staff of the Manchester Guardian, and he lived an openly gay lifestyle during the 1930s.
Wow.
He said, New Year's resolution, to tolerate fools more gladly, provided this does not encourage them to take up more of my time.
Huh. I feel like I'm the opposite. Like,
don't put up with them more?
Let's stop dealing with fools.
Yeah. Well, he does say provided that if you could be nice and that makes them go away, then
that's true.
Be nice and
if they take up if they don't take up as much as your time, maybe that's worthwhile.
It does seem though that like a lot of people are interested in like, I'm gonna be less bothered by fill in the blank. Like 1 year I was like, I'm gonna rage book less.
Oh, it
did not work.
Okay.
That was a failure.
Do you still rage book?
I've moved to Threads.
Really?
Yeah, it's been so transphobic and toxic and horrible, and I just can't stop myself. And then I feel bad because there are lots of people, some of whom are trans, who are like, don't feed the trolls, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
And part of the reasoning, and I really need to figure this out for myself, is if we're in the same pool of people, engaging means that content's going to be shown to other people.
Right.
Not engaging means it won't.
Right.
So it's helping trans people by not helping them because it doesn't throw in their face horrible shit that's being said about them.
Yeah, you mean by not engaging, it's now not going to be shown to people in your circle.
Or less likely to be, yeah.
Yeah. I think blocking is one of the best options or reporting. Not that the social media platforms, as we know from the GLAAD studies, are wildly horrible, especially for trans people, and no one seems to be doing shit about it.
Well, I have a carefully curated collection of dicks on X now. I don't see transphobic things at all, despite GLAAD saying that like that's the toxic wasteland cesspool of the United States, if not the universe. Threads is fucking horrific every time I log on, and I don't know what I did to the algorithm or what happened in the universe for the algorithm to decide to be this way this holiday season, but it's
Merry fucking Christmas.
It's really, really bad.
But I mean, you engage in a piece of content like that, and then it thinks, oh, you want to see more of that.
Yeah.
So by engaging, you're also fucking over your feed.
It does make my reptile brain really happy to tell somebody that they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, moving on. Another like Leonard Bernstein, composer, 1918 to 1990, conductor, composer, pianist, music educator, author, humanitarian. He was bisexual, had relationships with both men and women, but he needs some advice from what you were just saying to make positive instead of negative, like stop doing something instead of stop doing something else. Anyway, he said, from New Year's on, the outlook brightens. Good humor lost in a mood of failure returns. I resolve to stop complaining.
Stop complaining. But it would be like, I think the approach oriented could be either I want to have more positive things to say, or maybe if I stop complaining, I will live a happier life or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good humor lost in a mood of failure returns. So the idea being, if you're focused on the negative, that's one thing for yourself. But if you talk about all of the negative with other people, you're going to bring them down, and pretty soon everybody's miserable.
Yeah.
So stop complaining. It's a little bit like don't feed the trolls in a way.
Yeah. Like
just engage with what you want more of in the universe and don't. But then that's a suffer in silence kind of thing. Like if your life is shitty and you have some complaints and you have somebody who's on your team that wants to listen to you, it's okay to talk to them. I don't know.
Yeah. That's true. It's like you don't want that to be your exclusive thing. If you're always just complaining, that's frustrating. But you're allowed to express your frustrations to other people, and that's part of like having friends, is being able to be like, this thing sucks, and they can be like, yeah, you know what, that really does suck, and you get to be like, thank you, you're right. Yeah.
The last one is the gayest one of all.
Okay.
I think. Anais Nin lived from 1903 to 1977. And she was a French-born author of novels and short stories whose literary reputation rests on the 8 published volumes of her personal diaries. And she was also bisexual. She had relationships with both men and women. And she said, quote, I made no resolutions for the new year. The habit of making plans, of criticizing, sanctioning, and molding my life is too much of a daily event for me.
Oh, so she's already doing this. And doesn't need another burden of another like impetus to make resolutions.
Yeah, like I don't need to reflect on my life and figure out what to do better next year. I'm queer. I do that every single day. It's exhausting.
Yeah. Huh. I can kind of see that.
I can kind of see that too. And it does I think we should take a pause and ask ourselves, are resolutions good? Because if it's just going to make you dig up feelings about how shit your life is or has been the last year, and then try to drum up hope out of you when you just don't have the fucks to give right now, or set you up to set a bunch of things that you're going to fail and then feel worse about yourself for failing, like maybe they're net negative and you shouldn't do it. And I think all of those things that I mentioned that are potential pitfalls are huge for gay people, queer people.
Wow, that was the most pessimistic I've ever heard resolutions be. Holy shit. Wow.
All right.
No, I mean, it's a good point though. Like if that's what it's doing to, like, yeah, do resolutions actually help you? Do you feel better by setting resolutions? What happens if you miss a day or you don't hit your resolution, like, do you feel okay with that? Do you have your kind of plan around that? And I think it's very easy to be caught in this pitfall of like, now's the time everyone has to make goals and I have to do it. And I don't want to, or it's going to bring up these negative feelings that I haven't even considered. I just am supposed to do it.
Yeah. Mostly, just don't feel pressured to.
Right.
Know yourself. Know. God, my feelings are coming out in gas form. If you know that it's not going to be good for you, don't do it.
Right.
Fuck everybody else.
Yeah. And if you don't know whether it's going to be good for you, like try like with something small and attainable and see if that works.
Yeah. Go take an average dick. Don't go for the giant one right away.
You know what? Or actively seek out the small ones because they're just as fun. And you can feel like a champ when you take them.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing about small dicks is you're like, I'm the best. I'm so good at taking dick. Look at me go. Yeah. I'm
balls deep.
Balls deep. Get them in there. You got room to spare.
Oh God.
Set up your couch inside my butt. You got so much room.
Wow.
I don't know. Should I tell you about ideas for gay New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
You're also gonna, like, in the Patreon segment, you're gonna go over tips.
Yes.
For how to make good ones.
Yes.
Right?
I'm going to give you tips according to health.ucdavis.edu. So actual
an
like,
edu, it must be real.
Yeah, exactly. That seems legit. So I'll have tips on how to come up with a resolution in Patreon. But for now, we're going to give ideas for, then this was 2022. So keep this in mind. 7 new queers resolutions to
New queers resolutions.
Yeah. I love it. I accept it. To make your 2022 delightfully gay. And this is an article on the Pink News by Jackson King.
Okay.
So we're going to see how relevant these are to today and if we're going to make any modifications, I would say.
Okay.
So number 1, have a bleach blonde moment.
Oh, God. Are people still doing that?
I thought that feels very 2002. Like that feels like COVID, and after we had crises and it was like blonde your hair. Well, kind of dye your hair blonde just to feel better about things. That was the joke, was a twink going through a crisis dyes their hair blonde.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Hot blonde summer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what, maybe instead of specifically doing blonde, maybe like something different with your hair, or like add some color to your hair.
Yeah. Yes, not specifically blonde, but and I don't even know if necessarily specifically about hair. It's okay to just like fucking change something. Change
up your look.
Yeah. Maybe don't go with like something permanent or hard to change back, but like, you know, I'm not recommending face tattoo as your first thing.
No.
Yeah.
Get a leg tattoo first.
Yeah.
Number 2, get into a gay subculture.
Oh.
So
wait, like pups or leather or diapers or I don't know.
Yeah, some of the suggestions were leather, ballroom, bear, drag, radical fairies, witchcraft, a sports team, a fetish club. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different ways to be gay and to celebrate gayness and to be around other gay people. And clubs are one of those ways. There's probably clubs, organizations, groups for just about anything you could want. There's a gay version of just about everything is what I'm saying.
In the immortal words of poet and philosopher Sweet Brown, ain't nobody got time for that.
I also don't. Yeah, I don't have time for this. But if you do.
It's a bandwidth, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be a time to reevaluate where are you spending your time, because if bandwidth is an issue, okay, what am I spending my time on? And is it the places I do want to be spending my time? And if not, stop spending them in places you don't want to and start putting them towards something that's more useful to you.
Yep.
Number 3, make a zine.
No. What year was this?
Were we all into zines in 2022?
No.
Zine? No, we weren't. Zine, but
I wasn't even in them in the 90s or whatever.
90s was probably the heyday for zines.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like it wasn't even.
Oh. But it is a particularly like kind of queer thing because that was a way that gay people spread information and had alternative kind of ways outside of the mainstream papers to express things.
Okay. The slight tweak that I would put there is like start a TikTok.
I don't know that your resolution should be start a TikTok.
No?
That seems like it could take you. I don't have a TikTok because I'm worried about the rabbit hole it would send me down.
Right. I don't have a TikTok either because I did have a TikTok for like it was early in the TikTok days. And the first time that I was like I'm just gonna look at a couple while I fall asleep, and then next thing I looked at the alarm clock and it says 4 a.m. because I just like swirled and had no idea how it's like getting abducted by aliens and getting anal probed, Kyle. Like you have no idea how long you've been gone. You don't know what happened to you while you were away.
What I'm hearing is TikTok can get me anal.
Yes.
Great.
But I think being a content creator, that's a little bit different. Like make TikTok, don't watch it.
That's true. Make TikTok, don't watch it. Huh. I like that. Or, whatever kind of social media you want. Get on Threads if you want to start combating the shittiness.
Yeah. No, don't do that. We're not supposed to do that.
Oh, but like creating, not like arguing with people. I mean, like creating
making queer ass awesome things.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Embrace ink and piercings. The suggestions were nose ring, a padlock earring, armband, or a triangle tattoo.
Okay.
So maybe your resolution could be get your first tattoo or get your first piercing.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know. I got one ear pierced and an ankle tattoo in the 90s, and it's fine.
But that's like, this is a very achievable goal that you could set for yourself.
Oh, that's true.
And it could make you feel kind of gay, depending on if you do something gay with it.
That's absolutely true.
So that could be a nice way to kind of be affirming and take care of yourself in a weird way.
Can you maybe like try henna first to see if you like it?
Oh yeah. Don't they have those temporary tattoos that you can like draw on what you want and it lasts for a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Or like try clip-ons for a while. I don't know if they clip on nose rings or not, but like
clip-on nose ring. Ow. I mean, getting a nose ring sounds like it would hurt anyway, but clip-on for some reason. Number 5, volunteer for an LGBTQ plus cause.
I repeat, ain't nobody got time for that.
Maybe you don't, but
I know.
Other people may have the time. Like usually cities will have their like LGBTQ like center or whatever that you could try volunteering for. Yeah. That'd be a helpful way to spend time in life. Say yes to the mullet.
Oh no!
I think I'm going yes. The mullet is back in a big way, and I think even now
it's almost 2024, Kyle.
I think it's here to stay for now, temporarily. It's temporarily here to stay.
Okay.
I think the mullet is big, and you should get one.
How do you feel about them?
I've been more and more accepting of them.
Okay.
I think because like having the sides of your head shaved down real tight has been like, even if with no mullet, has been kind of like this trend in men's hair. So then the mullet is just like, what if we did that, but just the back stayed where it was? I'm good with mullets.
Okay.
You're not?
I'm fine with it. It depends on how long it is in the back, I guess. Like the party in the back part I'm fine with, but like some of them are nasty.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you got to keep that shit up.
Yeah.
You can't just let it go to wherever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And lastly, turn up the trans media.
Yeah.
It had some suggestions that I'm just going to read because I thought these are probably still very useful even today.
Okay.
You could read Tori Peters' critically acclaimed Detransition Baby or Shola von Reinholdt's award-winning Loat. Inject your playlist with hyperpop Sophie. That's the artist name is Sophie. With the hyperpop of Sophie, the gender-bending sounds of Shamir, or the captivating hip-hop of Tranny Boy. And be sure to dial into trans podcasts such as What the Trans, Gender Reveal, and Marsha's Plate for trans perspectives on news and pop culture. So lots of ways that you can tune into trans things.
Put Kim Petras' Slut Pop on repeat.
Yeah, more than I have already, Mike. Yeah. How is that possible?
Well, if you do an audit of how you're spending your time, you might find some more.
That's true. I might find more time to spend on Kim Petras' Slut Pop, or her new album. Is it called Plastique? Oh shit! That's the straightest thing about me, is not knowing the name of Kim Petras' album.
I hope she does some more stuff with Sam Smith.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was magic.
I mean, it was Grammy Award winning. What about you, Mike?
What about me?
Do you have any, gay resolutions or just resolutions?
I want to get back down under 200 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This last year, there's many, many, many awesome things that happened this last year that I'm very grateful for. And I put on some weight. So that's one. One for sure. Body issues.
Yeah. Is that a healthy resolution for you?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, it's only been a year-ish since I was under 200 pounds. Like, I don't have that far to go is what I'm saying.
So it's a reasonable goal?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I haven't set a time frame on it, like maybe by Pride, but I think I don't really like tying appearance things to an event. Like, for some people, it's very motivating, right? Like, I've got a cruise in September. I've got to get ready for that or whatever. For some people, that would work. That would not work for me. That would be unhealthy for me.
Oh, why is that?
Because I think I would, one of two things would happen. I would either go too hard and potentially injure myself, or I would not be making satisfactory progress toward that, and it would make me feel worse. I would feel guilty and bad.
Yeah. There's also the thing of what happens after the event. Like, whether you hit your goal or not, once the event has come and passed, then what? The idea is not just like, oh, let me go back to how I was. The goal is to make like long-term healthy decisions for your life that you can sustain.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you fit in that tux or bridesmaid's dress or whatever, but like,
now what? Yeah, totally.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else on my big looming list, and there's really not. And calling it a resolution is pretty strong language too. Like, I'm not very formal about it. It's not like I have a book somewhere that I write my shit down.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. Maybe I'd be better at it if I did. But how about you? What?
I have a goal to stop binge eating.
Okay.
Because that's a hard thing for me to deal with, not do. And it, I don't know, causes body image issues.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, okay. So looking at the shit from earlier, though, like stopping doing something, they said it's better to do something else, right?
I know. So what is it? Like binge eat cucumbers? Is that what I should, set my goal as to?
God, what is a cucumber but an unpickled pickle, though?
No, I love cucumbers.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cucumbers are delicious.
I mean, I don't know. Do more meal planning?
Oh.
That's a positive thing that maybe...
I'm trying to think of, how I would reframe that into something that is approach-oriented and not avoidance. But I think maybe it's... Maybe it's something about like find happiness in places that are not food.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I have some initial feedback on that being a smart goal, but I think that's at least its approach instead of avoid.
Yeah. I'll have to refine that or figure out what exactly I want to do with it. But I don't know. That's just something that happens a lot, especially when I have big feelings that I'm like, oh, food will solve this. And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then I just ate, the entire fill in the blank of whatever thing I just bought at the store.
Yep.
and it didn't actually fix anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I want to start looking for a new job.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Are you comfortable saying that on the air?
No one listens. No one from my current job listens. I thought about that, and yeah, I need a different job, so I'm going to be starting to apply to new jobs again.
Yeah. God, ain't nobody got time for that.
That's overwhelming. That idea is overwhelming to me, but it's something I need to do, and something that I also, given how tough it was last time to find a job, I have such little faith that it's actually going to happen. That's a really hard one for me to. It's one of those that I know needs to be on my list, and I am just agonizing over.
Yep.
It's going to be horrible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Especially after it took so long and so much effort to get this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you said the other day, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one application.
Yeah.
So, I think breaking things down into attainable steps, like next step, I need to update my resume.
Yeah.
That's a doable step that I can do in a couple hours at some point. And even that, I mean, some things, I'm in a place where a lot of things seem overwhelming. Even that seems like a lot, but that's more of a achievable step than just the big giant goal of find a new job.
Yeah. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah. How do you feel about resolutions in general? Like, some people are like, some of the gays that you just told us about are like wildly against the idea of resolutions, or like, how do you feel about resolutions in general?
Mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. Like, I think I said at the top of the show about how like New Year's is my favorite holiday, because it's like, hey, take a look back, think about what's going on forward. Here's your like built-in milestone every year. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think formalizing that a little bit and saying that you're going to like set some actual goals could be really good and healthy. But I also like totally get the very human, like, try to set a promise that something's going to change, and then you do it like 3 times, and then you stop, and then you've now failed.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I think probably if done right are likely a net force for good, but they have to be done right, which maybe hopefully in the Patreon segment you'll say how to do it right.
Maybe we'll learn how to do it right.
Yeah. How about you?
I think I've gone through these phases where I've been like, I feel like you go to college and you're like, why do we pick this artificial time to set resolutions? And then it's like, okay, yes, it is kind of artificial that on January 1st, when a new year hits, that all of a sudden you're making new goals. You could set new goals any time of the year. If this is the forcing function that encourages you to do it, that's so be it. And now's a good time to do that, because a lot of people are doing it as well. So you may have support from others, or it's just a convenient kind of time to reflect on it. So I think I've gone through those, like, being against it, and now being like, you know what, if that helps you, so be it.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of things that I've started to just be like, you know what, if it helps you, great. If I think someone posted on Facebook, like, if decorating for Christmas early makes people happy, you know what? So what? There's always around the holidays, there's like, yeah, you're not allowed to start
day after
celebrating
Thanksgiving at the earliest, you fuckers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like, but does it matter? Like, if it makes you happy, if it works for you, then great.
Put your tree up at St. Patrick's Day. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave your tree up all year round.
Unless it's real, it'll burn your house down.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Donate that shit or whatever.
I have another resolution, Kyle.
Oh, what is it?
We have a big secret project, and we have to get that across the finish line.
Oh.
Like, we have a resolution together.
We do have a joint resolution.
Yeah. More on that later, everybody.
Yeah.
But do we have any other ones for Gayish?
Oh, I didn't even think about if we had Gayish resolutions.
Yeah.
Get more rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
Rate, review, subscribe, and recommend, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. I love how we get people to do things by calling them names.
Yeah,
That's the gayish way.
that's true.
No, I don't know. I'll have to think about if I have any resolutions for gayish.
We've got some like dream guests in the pipeline. It'd be great to nail at least one of those, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like fuck them.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, or vice versa.
Or the, you know, or whomever fucks whomever.
Did we do it?
I'm surprised at how gay, especially your topics were for resolutions. I did not expect it to be as gay as it was.
Yeah, me neither. But here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, I think we did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
Well, I resolve to take a break.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest. But first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on socials at Gayish Podcast. You can see all the places you can find us, like Facebook groups and Discord and everything, at gayishpodcast.com/contact.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. We have Christmas presents.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Ooh.
These are from Jacob Rossitano, and it's very complicated, and I don't know how to do it. But like, there was this. It said Mike opened first, Mike opened second. It was a very lovely letter. It said very nice things about me that I would cry if I read them. So,
oh, happy holidays, Mike. This is for you.
Here, this one says Kyle opened first.
Okay.
Jacob was also my Secret Santa. Our Discord server has a Secret Santa every single year, and this year was no different. And he got me the the game You Lie You Drink, and it looks like it combines both of my favorite things: lying to my friends and getting hammered. So
perfect. Oh, this is a long note that I'll have to read afterwards. I can already tell it's going to be very sweet. I started reading some of it. Edible
glitter.
Pink brew glitter that is edible.
Make your drink gay. Bring it to the party tomorrow.
Edible glitter. Oh, this really adorable scarf. This is beautiful. Oh, and it's so soft and cozy. It's like purple and black.
Nice colors, yeah.
This is lovely. And lastly, it's a sip caddy, so you put it in your shower so you can rest your drink on it.
That's great.
God, that's amazing.
Shower drinking is amazing.
Thank you.
And got me the book of terribly awesome dad jokes. I will read one just on principle. I can only handle 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you so much, Jacob. That was very sweet of you.
Okay. Is it time for Gayest and Straightest?
Yeah.
Hey, rate, review, subscribe, and recommend, you motherfuckers.
Yes, please. The resolve to help small independent podcasts grow, and to do that, you can rate, review, subscribe, or recommend. All of that really helps us.
But like, it actually helps us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it actually helps.
It does.
Gayest and Straightest?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You go ahead.
Okay.
Great.
My gayest is you and I played bingo this week.
Yeah. It was
And
fun.
I won the rim job one. So I
Yeah.
got to stand up and shout rim job.
Yeah.
They were like, you
It's
have
bingo.
to say bingo. So I got in trouble for yelling rim job.
But they're the ones that said it was called rim job.
I know. And I
around the outside of the card is what
Yeah.
they were looking for. And
Yeah.
Anyway,
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too. It was my plan. If I won, I was going to do it.
You were like, I really want to win so I can yell rim job. And then I got to. My straightest is when I live home alone, so I get to burp and fart as loud as I want to.
Yeah, you can and do and should.
And do. Yes, exactly. Sorry, Reynolds.
Oh, he's probably not sorry.
No.
Although there's this adorable reel going around on Instagram of pets reacting to their owner's farts. And I love it so much.
That's hilarious.
The straightest thing about me this week was leaving for Dungeons and Dragons last night. I went out the door and I have shit in my hands, but like that was when I realized that I had grabbed my 6-pack of beer that was missing 2 beers by the by the empty rings.
Yeah.
And so I was just like running down the stairs with like dangly 4 beers in my hand. I was like, what kind of straight guy frat shit is this? And then the gayest thing about me this week, I am doing Impress, which is an Invisalign competitor, and I realized they're really good for blowjobs.
Oh, because you can't teeth anyone.
Because I can't teeth anyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. They should market it like that.
Right. This week's Gayest and Straightest from a listener. We have a listener's Gayest and Straightest this week. God damn it, motherfuckers. We have a listener's Gayest and Straightest this week. It comes to us from Alexei in our voicemail.
Hi, this is Alexei. Calling first off, Mike and Kyle. Love you guys' podcast. So maybe my gayest and straightest for the week. Gayest would have been, well, I'm in Mexico City right now on a vacation and went to a 3-story gay bar in the city, so that was super cool. Straightest was probably Mexican wrestling. Think of like WWE, but Mexican, yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Love the podcast. Keep it up.
WWE, but Mexican?
3-story gay bar?
All of that sounds gayest and straightest.
Yeah. Super gay. Super straight. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And if you want your Gayest and Straightest to be played on the air, we would love to play it. Just send it any way you can get audio to us, including leaving us a voicemail on the hotline.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, that's it. A special thank you to everybody who makes a New Year's resolution this year.
Yeah. Thank you to that God, two-faced God, whose name Janus.
Hugh Janus.
Hugh Janus. And thank you to our Super Gap Bridgers, Kaylee Adam, Kit Oliver, Andrew Bugby, William Bryan, John Crowley, Stephen Porch, Yost Osel, Harry Shaw, Jonathan Montañez, Wadu, Forrest Nail, Patrick Martin, Steve Douglas, Explosive Zanya, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Kevin Henderson, Thomas B., Timothy Sora, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you.
See you next year.
It is
week.
Next year.
See you next week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.